Let's do it.
Make you wanna go do it.
Alright, we did go live on
And
Facebook.
Facebook.
The multi-stream.
We are live on Twitch.
We are live.
Oh,
All
God, I
right.
would be on both. God,
You got to be on. Actually, you're on 3. You're on YouTube as well.
Bruh.
Yeah. So just gotta share this 1,000 times.
1,000 times.
Check out our podcast.
It's
Live! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Bow, bow, bow,
I can't look at Facebook.
bow, bow. If I could
let's get
share
out.
it, we're doing
Let's
it.
go live. You're sharing it to your personal page too, right?
My personal page?
Like, yeah, your personal Facebook.
Let's get out.
Oh, I never do.
Out.
Not that I never do. I'm just saying, like,
Seriously?
I think people notice it when I don't know. I can. Alright, so that is... I misspelled R's, but it's fine. I already shared it. I can't go back. With 15 shares.
15 shares.
But wait,
Didn't
there's
you have,
more.
Didn't you have 18 last time? I'm waiting
Hold
for
up.
I'm waiting for the alerts to pop up with the shares.
Oz, get out. Go. Go on, Chunky.
Hold on. You'll see him in a second.
Yo 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 yo. La, 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 la. Oh, there's one.
Yep. And then I will share this to group as me.
Tasha says hi. Hi, Tasha. Look at all those notifications flying out. This is the pre-show. This is all the people who only tune into Twitch get to see.
It's true.
You get to see
There we go.
you get to see notifications.
Now let me refresh that.
You get a notification. You get a notification. Everybody gets a notification.
23 shares to probably 100,000 people. We got 5 people watching our podcast right now on Facebook. Hey everybody, I'm Ashley Strong. You can check out our podcast on Spotify.
It's not time for shameless plugs. It is not time for those plugs.
Oh boy,
Actually,
here we go killing
I
again.
mean, we are technically recording, so I guess
Yeah.
I guess plug away.
Always shameless plug.
Oh.
Oz. Off.
And our 4th special guest, Ozzy.
Yeah, I know, right?
I got my pupper laying next to me right here.
This is Loudmouth.
Hey Jerry, can you pass me a soda? Down. You have to pass it down to me.
Ash, that would have been amazing if you had a drink to grab and pull like.
What do you mean? He just handed
Oh,
me
yes, yes. Oh my God, we have to clip that. We have to clip that. It just took a second to get through the interweb space.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get him upstairs.
All right. Don't worry, buddy. We're getting started in just a minute here.
Mountain Dew. Delicious.
Mountain Dew.
Like I need caffeine at this hour.
It's time for episode 7. Do, 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 do.
Bark, 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 bark. So I ran into a boss. I had multiple runs across. More than 2. He whooped my butt.
What, Bloodborne?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. You almost ready there, Ashton, or do I have to worry about any more notifications, or?
No, they're all done.
We're good to go?
Yeah.
We're good to go? All right.
We're gooch.
All right. I think we are going to get... Don't make me laugh. I need to start. All right. Let me just make sure we are recording in clean feed. We got an audience in here already. Look at that. Look at that.
Hells yeah.
We're live podcasters.
Yeah, we're live podcasters. We got 5 people watching on 6 people on Facebook.
Damn.
All right. I am going to start if you are ready.
Go.
Let's do this. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Midlife Gamers, the show about 2 guys in their 30s talking video games. My name's Corey Beasley. Joining me, as always, on controller number 2 is my good buddy Ashton Strong.
Yo.
But wait. We had to plug in.
More.
We had to plug in controller number 3 because we have a special guest today. Joining us tonight is the meme mage himself, the PC master, Jerry Sorrentino. Jerry, how are you tonight, my friend?
Hello, Jerry.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you for having me on the show. I
No
appreciate
problem,
it.
Jerry.
So I've known Jerry pretty much almost just as long as I've known Ashton. I don't know how long you two have known each other though. It's been the same amount of time.
I think so.
Pretty much.
Probably going back like
Yeah.
over 20 years now. About 20, no, not 20 years. No. I was like 17 when I met Jerry.
15 plus, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, probably like, I'd say right around 16. That's how long me and Tasha have been together, so.
Yeah. Yep. So that makes sense. Well, I'm gonna go around and ask everybody how your week's doing. Ashton, what you been up to this week?
I've been streaming some Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that drives me crazy. It just drives me up the wall. Besides that, basic stuff. Playing some Vita here and there.
Playing the Vita again. You busted out the Vita?
I'm playing Golden Abyss. I want to clean up some trophies. If, not that. I'm setting up a bunch of recordings for exclusive content for YouTube, too. And a lot of those videos are going to go up relatively soon. Whole playlists just for YouTube. And including a game, soon I will be playing Control. But besides that,
Nice. Very nice, dude. Very nice. I have been playing a lot of games myself. I have been having a hard time sticking it to one specific game to stream this past week. I've been jumping between Ghost, Fall Guys, NHL, Sekiro, and now Evil Within 2. Other than that, I have been making some YouTube videos myself for the channel. I'm going to be putting up some tutorials here on how to basically get yourself streaming if you're on a budget. You don't necessarily need to have fancy equipment. You don't need to have a $500 webcam or a stream deck or anything like that to get yourself started.
would you look at that?
Yeah.
I'm also on a budget.
I think both of us are.
How convenient that we would be putting something up on our channel.
Yeah. But this episode here, we wanted to bring in Jerry, just because Jerry is a good friend of ours, and he has a pretty extensive background with building PCs. If you looked on our Facebook page and you look at the picture that we just posted with the episode note, you'll see his system that he set up. Jerry, how many monitors do you have?
Too
Now,
many.
6. I used to run 8, but my neck was hurting, and I'm not even joking about that.
So, what are you running for a GPU to run all that?
I was at one point running 2 1080 Ti's, and right now I kind of went down to a 5600 XT.
Oh, okay. All right. Did you end up getting that the mini fridge put together?
Kinda.
Kinda.
I mean, I got it on air right now. I'm gonna be liquid cooling it soon.
Nice. How much of a pain in the ass is the process of liquid cooling it?
I'm not going full custom. I'm doing all-in-one loops, so it's already pre-made, all put together. I just gotta slap it on, one on the GPU and the other one on the processor.
Nice. Do you wanted to ask you? Do you happen to remember what your very first PC was that you built?
Do you want me to go get it?
I don't necessarily get it. Just curious what the specs are on it.
Yes. I think it was 2005. I just got out of high school. It was a Intel Q6600, 2.6 gigahertz quad core, Intel Duo. DDR2,
Yeah.
1066, and at the time it had a hard drive of a Raptor X. 10,000 RPMs. They didn't have
Yeah,
SSDs back then.
blazing speed.
So in comparison to like modern computers, we're like, yeah, whatever. Back in 2005,
Crisis.
that was
Crisis 1.
Crisis 1. That was the standard. Could it run Crisis 1?
Yeah. It was the first time AMD did Crossfire 2.
So aside from that, Jerry is also known for being quite the meme master.
Yeah.
He do you ever go check out any social
Is that
media
a
or
meme?
anywhere?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, see right there.
He's a meme lord.
Is that a
right
meme
here.
right there?
So for anybody who's going to be listening to this episode when it goes up on Spotify and every place else, Jerry has a meme toy. It is SpongeBob. But yes, Jerry, do you still have the website that you had? Wasn't it like saltyjerry.com?
Yes, I gotta renew the website itself.
Okay.
But, yeah, if you go to www.facebook.com/saltyjerry, it's on there on Facebook.
Nice. So yeah, definitely go and check that out. If you like your memes, which I know pretty much everybody does. If you
Everyone
don't,
does.
if you don't like memes, I don't know if you're human.
I mean,
so.
it's the number one place I steal my memes from. So I don't know about you.
You what?
What?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's plenty of times that like I've seen something that Jerry has posted, and it's like, yoink.
No, I'm glad people do that because hey, I'm doing the same thing too. Let's be honest.
Yeah. No one's making memes.
So before we go on here, we gotta bounce back to my 2 truths and a lie. So, Ashton, I don't know if you remember what they were, and Jerry, I'm not sure if you listened to the last episode to catch what they were, but I'm gonna...
I mean, he does listen. What are you talking about?
Hey, he's got kids. I got kids. I understand. Like, it takes time to catch up.
I did listen to it
Today, see?
There you go.
He's prepared.
today.
I mean, I don't remember personally.
Okay, well, I do. So, I'm going to start with number 1. Was at the arcade. Oh, and by the way, Ashton, in the last episode, you and I couldn't remember what the arcade in Crossgates was called. Cyberstation.
Oh, yeah. I remember. It was like, I got you. I remember what they were.
Yep. So, number 1 was at Cyberstation. I ended up winning a $200 Star Wars Lego set by answering 3 really freaking easy trivia questions. Number 2 was I had broken the glass on a it was like a pinball like machine, but it was flat across. I forgot what the game was, but the tabletop was glass, and I was sitting on it during a DDR tournament, watching a bunch of people, compete in the tournament. And while I was sitting there, the glass ended up shattering, and I fell into the machine, surrounded by glass and everything else. And then number 3 was I surprisingly took first place in an Initial D tournament. Which one's the lie?
I'm going to go with Tokyo Drift.
Jerry, do you have a guess at all?
I want to go with the pinball just because it sounds like a really good story.
So, the pinball story is actually true. That was true. I was sitting there during a DDR tournament, sitting on it, and the thing smashed. And the Lego set was true. Ashton got it.
It was Tokyo Drift.
As good as I was at Initial D, I always got crushed in the tournaments. Initial D is probably the only racing game, aside from when I worked in the NASCAR Silicon Motor Speedway, that I was actually halfway decent at. I like playing racing games. I just suck at them. So, but yeah, so we got that one. Ashton.
Yes.
We had a winner for our contest.
We did have a winner. So, for everyone who knows, and thank you for everyone who posted pictures of the Ghost of Tsushima photo contest. But we have a winner, Mel Serrano. Sorry. I butchered your name. It's like Melicor too, and I'm sorry. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. But he had an awesome picture. He's like in Act 2 of Ghost still. He wants to take it slow, steady, do all the side quests first, which is actually how I played. And for what he's going to do with the card, we gave him a $20 gift card for PSN, everyone. He might put it towards Final Fantasy VII Remake or the My Hero Fighter Academy 2, I believe.
Oh,
But
did you find another Wii, Bastion?
yeah. Yeah. He seemed pretty nice too. Like he lives out in California. He has a decent enough job. Seems like a decent enough guy. We really appreciate you out there. He also made sure to share that he got it from us and to share watching the podcast tonight too. So much
Nice,
appreciation.
nice. Well, thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. So I think it's time to dive into the news because we actually have some breaking news.
This just in.
Halo Infinite has been delayed to 2021.
Shocking. When you're like, hey, here's a game and everyone shits on it. Shocking that it's delayed.
I'm wondering how much of a death blow this is going to be to Xbox. I mean, I shouldn't say death blow, but this is the game that they were riding on with the Xbox Series S coming out. Or not Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X.
That's later news.
Yeah, that's later news. See, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So just because, like, you and I both watched the showcase there, and it seemed like the only thing that they had that, like, had any weight to it for them to show off was Halo. While it wasn't that impressive, in my personal opinion, they spent a lot of time on Halo because they knew that, like, okay, this is what we're going to need to sell the console. Like, this is our exclusive. Now, I know they're doing the whole, it's going to be on Game Pass, and you're going to be able to play it on your PC and everything else, but to sell this console, you need an exclusive for that console to have a good launch. And now with this being pushed to 2021, I don't know if that's a really good thing to happen at this time or this stage with the console coming out in 3 months?
Yeah, it's not a good move. But I mean, honestly, I don't think it needs much work in my opinion. So it must be some of the back of the house issues they might have or something. Because, like, yeah, like, graphical touch-ups probably don't take up that much work to delay it past your launch window. Mm-hmm. But, no.
Yeah,
what do you think, Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry, what's your take on it? Have you been keeping up with what's going on with Xbox and their apparent move to, like, really satisfy both console and PC gamers?
The Game Pass I find is a very, very interesting idea. So, I know you said it before, but being able to get a part of the PC market along with the console market, I think it's a phenomenal thing. At the same point, too, as you said, it's also a double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. So if you have a PC and you can play the same games, what's the point of buying a console?
Right. And it's like now that they've released even more platforms that the Game Pass is going to be on. I mean, we just talked about it on the last podcast there that it's going to be available on Android devices. I mean, when the Note 20 launches, and I think it's the Flip 2, I think is what they're coming out, the Galaxy Flip 2. Both of them are going to launch with 3 months of Game Pass already on the service. So, like I just don't know what that means for Microsoft, going forward as a console developer. But aside from them doing this, they're going to be releasing another console aside from the Xbox Series X. They're going to be dropping the Xbox Series S, as confirmed by a controller leak that came out on Twitter. There was a picture that was that leaked out that had a white controller, and on the side where it said that basically what this controller was going to work with, it said Xbox Series X / S. So we now know that there is definitely going to be an S version of the console. My question is, what is the S? Is that what the smaller one is going to be? Or is this just going to be like, oh, we're just going to bring back the Xbox One and call it just the Xbox Series S?
I mean, they're terrible with secrets. Like the whole Series X thing, like a lot of their specs and like the idea of them putting out a new console was leaked roughly 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, this isn't surprising. People have seen the picture. It's a little white thing with no disc slot.
Yep.
I'm sure that is accurate to what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. But I mean, it's Microsoft at this point now. They're kind of unpredictable with what they're
Yeah.
doing. I mean, and I've said it before. They're trying to be innovators. They're trying to be quote unquote game changers.
I mean, here's the thing though. If they just waited and was like, all this Game Pass stuff will be there at launch, but like for certain aspects of the Series X, if they just waited 3 months, let the holiday window pass for the Series X, focus on promoting that, and then was like, hey, we're doing this from here on. This is the plan going forward for 2021. That would have been a much smarter move on their part instead of just being like, hey, we got a console. I guess play Halo next year. Like,
Well, that's my thing. It's like, I think a lot of people were going to grab a new Xbox because of Halo. And now you got enough people who are just like, okay, well, I can wait. Or just, or I could just build a PC during the holiday season and then get it when it comes out on PC. And Jerry agrees with me on that one.
Absolutely.
PC Master Ace over here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like what would stop you? Because I mean, in this day and age, you could build a halfway decent gaming PC for
Cheap.
super cheap. Like some of them just a little bit more than what it's going to cost you for one of these next gen consoles. So
$700 could get you a good pre-build off of Amazon. Just off of Amazon, pre-built.
Jerry's saying no.
Hey,
Jerry's saying no.
I got my computer last year off of Amazon for $800, so a little bit more. But I mean, I could play everything on Ultra. So
Hey, Ashton, what happened a couple months ago?
yeah, that was because of I'm blaming PSO. I did upgrade my graphics card, my RAM. Look. Mistakes were made.
Ashton's philosophy: don't blame the player, blame the game.
PSO 2, when it released, literally was like, hey, can I uninstall this off of my computer? Your Windows be like, nah, fuck you. Like, do I have a choice in this matter? Nah, fuck you. Like, okay. Destroyed computers.
Ashton just made this show officially not safe for work.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Nope, good job.
You're allowed
you know
one.
How hard I was
You're,
trying not to swear?
you're allowed one F-bomb. One.
Look,
one.
we're on episode 7, and frankly enough, the PSO2 launch off of Windows Store destroyed my computer. So I had to reformat after that, and frankly enough, no slack, no quarter given.
No, I mean, like with PC gaming these days. I mean, like you said, like you can get a halfway decent rig. You can't expect it to. I mean, Ashton, I know you're running on ultra settings on your stuff, but like you can't expect that with every build that's out there, and especially if you're getting like pre-built machines off Amazon or wherever. Obviously,
Well, I'm saying at the time I did get ultra off of the newest games in that window. It didn't last. I did have to upgrade my graphics card nearly a year later, but I'm just saying.
Well, that was like me. Like my desktop is super old still. I mean, it's like probably going on 9 years old now. And no, actually 7 years old. Yeah, it's like 7 years old. But I mean, it's got an i7 in it, but it's an i7 4790, so it's an older i7 processor. I've got 64 gigs of RAM, but it's DDR3. I just upgraded to a SSD in it, and I put in a 1660 Super graphics card in there, and on the box I'm looking at it, it's like 4K gaming. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And it's like, yeah, 4K gaming for 5-year-old games.
Yep.
But
I mean, there's always a trade-off.
yep. But in other Xbox news here, they were originally the front runner to acquire WB Games, but now it's been released that WB Games actually might not be for sale. And Ashton, you were reading a little bit more about this, weren't you?
Yeah. It looks like that when AT&T took over, they own like HBO, they own everything, Time Warner, all this Warner Brothers, everything. It was reported at the time that they wanted to just axe gaming and focus entirely on basically HBO. it's suspected that they kind of said that so people would put in offers to buy their studios, thus raising the value of said studios. And apparently it went from not even $1 billion company to I think $2 or $4 billion company. So yeah, they jumped in like value like that, and now it's reported AT&T's being like, no, they're successful. We were kind of talking about it, but not really. And it's like, yeah, okay, bud. You wanted to see how much people would give you.
Yep.
And there you go.
Yep.
Be honest, corporations. You're scummy. Just be honest scum. That's all.
That sounds like an oxymoron.
Just be honest about your scumminess. You can be scummy, but just own up to it.
Yeah, you know. Hard.
You can be honest, scum.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of scummy corporations here, in my opinion, Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Not cool.
No, this isn't cool. They are not going to be allowing game streaming apps like xCloud or Stadia on there, using the excuse of they can't be in control of every game that goes out there. Well, you shouldn't be. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you shouldn't
I
be.
think it's more of everything that goes through the Apple process has to be approved by a certain amount of staff. Them saying it's like them saying they don't have the resources or the manpower, aka one of the wealthiest corporations in the world, like $1 trillion company.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, we can't afford
Like,
it.
we make 30% of Fortnite.
It's like, what are you talking about? You're just being stupid and like just be like, no, we got the apples. It's more self-interest than actual anything, too.
I sometimes think that Apple does these things intentionally because they know it's going to piss off Apple haters like myself.
Yeah, it's a little annoying.
They're very.
I
think they're a very spiteful company.
I don't use Apple. I don't know about you, Jerry. If you use Apple, I assume you don't.
You know, the best Apple product there ever was iPod Classic.
Okay, fair enough. Fair.
That's all I got.
Fair enough.
I mean,
the only thing I can actually give Apple credit for is their privacy.
Yeah.
Their privacy policies.
Yeah.
Are tight.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Maybe too tight because
Jerry,
I've had to change my password to super complicated things where I'm like, I don't even remember anymore.
I mean, I know Jerry is going like way out there with. You're getting the Linux phone, aren't you?
Yes, I have a Linux phone being shipped in.
Nice. So he's not. He's like, screw Apple, screw Google. I got a Linux phone.
It's got 6 physical kill switches.
Oh.
To shut off like your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, your camera, your microphone, like all that stuff. Physically. GPS. Yep.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I don't know. I'm a fan of Linux just because when I worked at the digital marketing company that I worked for, like we didn't use Windows for most of the computers there. We used Ubuntu for everything, and I actually ended up using Ubuntu at home here because there was this old computer that we pulled out of my old landlord's basement that he wasn't using anymore. It was this old HP computer. It was onboard graphics and everything, but with Windows itself was just like, yeah, this was impossible. Even Windows 10 wasn't installing on it, but man, threw Ubuntu on there and boom, that thing was like snappy. So I love Linux just because of the fact that it like uses almost no system resources in order to run. I just wish there was a little bit more compatibility with it. That's the only problem.
You know, it's an open source.
Project.
Yep.
Yeah, completely open source. So,
Yep.
you know, no one's profiting or anything. It's all volunteer work.
Yep. And I do like that there's like multiple different versions of the operating system that have all been built by, several different people. I mean, like they even made one version of it that was like super kid friendly. And I mean, it made it almost look like, the same like layout that you see on like Amazon Free Time on the Fire tablets. So, but aside from all that, and since we're on the topic of PCs here, Ashton, you and I have been playing Fall Guys on PlayStation, but
Yes, we have.
yeah, but there's been some drama and some hilarity on the PC side of things.
Yeah, little speed hackers.
Yes.
Dude's going 8,000 times faster, and it's like, how do you think you're going to get away with this?
So for anybody who doesn't know, Fall Guys is the new I guess you could call it a battle royale game. It's actually not a game where you're running around shooting people like Fortnite or Overwatch or anything like that. It's a bunch of little mini games that like you'd almost think you'd find in like Mario Party or on the Switch. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun. It's 60 players all at one time, just going through obstacle courses or soccer games, and it's a lot of fun. On the PC side of things, just because there's been like this really, really, really massive like addiction to people wanting to win. Now, I mean, I get it. Everybody wants to win a video game, but like there is a crown that you get to at the end of when you complete all the courses, and like everybody is obsessed with getting that crown right now. I mean, I've even based a couple streams around like, hey, I'm gonna get to the crown this time. I never do.
I mean, it's just winner, winner, chicken dinner. Thank you, Carl, for the 200 stars.
Oh, thank you, Carl.
No problem.
But what I've seen now is these videos now of, like you said, speedrunners who are able to like blow past the entire competition to get to the end. There's even ones who have been able to start during the countdown. They can start running while it's counting down to start.
Yep, no one will notice that.
Yeah.
Everyone's just pointing. What's that guy doing?
So there was a Twitter user who ended up recording a hacker going through and basically like flying all the way to the end to get the crown, and then couldn't get the crown because he kept messing up the jump at the end, and and the video ended up going super viral, which helped the I forgot who developed the game. Do you remember who makes the game?
I know it's a Devolver published game. I don't know who the indie house that made it is.
So because of that Twitter video going viral, that actually sparked an immediate response from the people who made Fall Guys to start and put a curb to hacking somehow. But it definitely puts a damper on the game for PC gamers for sure, because like, you know, now you're kind of swayed away from going on and playing and trying to win because you know there's going to be hackers on there that are doing the same thing. But honestly, that video was hilarious.
I mean, that's just a extreme case. Most of the speed hackers are like cranking their speed up 15% or like it's noticeable if you're looking for it kind of thing, but like if everyone's messing up and stuff, it's probably something you would like just glaze over. But it's shitty. Like, it's a mini game battle royale. I understand the shooter mentality of being like, I gotta kill, I gotta win, but like this is literally mini games, just people jumping around being goofs. Yep.
Jerry, have you probably haven't played Fall Guys, have you?
I haven't. I've seen it. It looks really funny. It looks like a game version of the TV show Wipeout.
Yeah. That's actually a really good comparison. That's perfect. No, you're right. It is fun, but have you had any experience with any type of modding or hacking when it comes to games?
You big cheater.
Yeah.
You big cheating cheater.
Well, I mean, my username is NotBot. It's the opposite of, what is it, aimbot. So,
okay.
Yeah, during my Quake series, I used to play. But, yeah, I've messed around with it just to see how they work. But honestly, like, playing whatnot, seriously, no. I've only done it to play around. My buddy Alan, we're all playing Counter-Strike 1.5. We're going back, you know that.
Oh, yeah. No, I played Counter-Strike back then, too, so...
So, we're playing... And he's calling me out. He's like, Jerry, you're cheating. I was like, Alan, if I was cheating, would I do this? And I shot him through the wall. He just said, F you, and quit. It was just for the shock factor. It wasn't for anything else.
Perfect. No, like, I have nothing against, like, hacking of games or anything like that, but when you're using it to your advantage to actually win online games like that, it just ruins the fun for everyone.
So,
and it's like, what glory do you get out of it by doing that, besides the fact that you know how to code?
For me personally, if I get a new game and I just want to test it out, I'll use Cheat Engine for myself. All single player stuff, just never competitive. There's another person in it, I would never do it. But like sometimes it's just easier to figure out a game's mechanics if you're like, well, what if I could just buy whatever I want and like get a little bit further in the game than I would otherwise?
Yep.
Yeah, maybe sometimes, you know, achievements on Steam a little too hard. Not hurting nobody. I buy the games. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there were games on PC back in the day. And I'm like, all right, God mode, let's put it in.
I mean, I was raised we were raised in the era where like Game Shark was a thing, and like you just be like, hey, I don't want infinite gold in Final Fantasy, and then there you go.
There it is.
That's what it was.
Well, I remember I used to play. It was Star Wars Jedi Knight. Not Jedi Master. It was Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, and then there was Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Academy. Yeah. So both of them on PC, like, like there was lightsaber battles. It was cool, but there was actually a hack you could put in that would make them like lose limbs and stuff like that. But it was like insanely hard to put in. And I remember putting it in for the first time, like, this is so much fun slicing everyone's head off.
It's actually why I was a big fan of Unleashed, because you could dismember people in that game.
Yes.
If I remember.
Yep. Yeah, you can't in Fallen Order, right?
No.
Yeah, because I was actually
games.
I was actually watching a video breaking down like the 10 most Souls-like games, and that came in at like number 7. But they were talking about how like the lightsaber combat is awesome, but when you actually do strike an enemy, it feels like you're hitting with a foam bat.
Well, don't you know, like stormtroopers or whatever they're called in that period.
Thud.
Yeah, it's just, their armor's made to fight against it, even though they're taken out in the movies. So I don't know.
I'm sorry, Jerry is a walking meme. This dude's drinking from a massive flask right now.
I noticed that earlier. I was like, is it for real?
This flask is probably the size of my monitor in front of me right now.
That thing is huge.
That's amazing.
That's like a bulletproof one. Like you put it under your coat. It's like, sir, we need any alcohol you got.
So,
actually, it's just water.
Oh.
So last week, Ashton and I watched the State of Play. Yeah, the State of Play showcase from PlayStation. And yeah, like I was like meh through the whole thing. I knew it was coming. I wasn't expecting them to be like, we are going to show PlayStation 5 system and you're going to see a price and you're going to see more specs. And
I mean, they did show off more PS5 games than I thought they were going to.
They did, but like
not really.
But like none of them really jumped out at me. And now, Ashton, you were telling me about what's going on with this Aeon Must Die game.
Yeah, so it was a very stylized beat 'em up game. It was like the one that looked like it was Tron / like edgelord game. Yep. Apparently, the original devs of that game were under serious crunch. They threatened to leave. They were told whatever, and they left. So there's a lot of unpaid employees at the time. And they just walked away from the project. Those assets that they worked for and made were eventually claimed by another company that then used them to make this game. So it's not the original company they worked for.
Right.
It's another group that literally just took everything they did and was like, we're going to just use it anyways. And yeah, it's like you don't hear stories about this either. Like,
no,
there's crunch.
This is mine now.
Yeah, basically. That's what they did.
Yep. That's grimy. It's very, very grimy.
It's super grimy.
And Blizzard is also coming out as kind of a grimy company right now. You were also telling me what's going on with the employees of Blizzard.
Yes, there was a doc file that was started spreading around through the company that listed everyone's pay increases, and there was obviously a lot of from highest to lowest. There was a huge gap, but also the amount they were all promised in terms of increases and like raises and stuff, none of them were getting it. And like they just kept adding, like once it got passed along, they would add their information to it. It's to the point where everyone's just like kind of like they're fighting against it in terms of the company, but it's kind of suspected that there's a chance that Activision Blizzard just might lay them off anyways, because that's kind of what they do to make profits.
I was just about to ask you, was Activision still the owners of Blizzard? And if that's if that's the
they're
case,
a merged
then,
company.
yeah.
But technically, Activision is the quote unquote owner.
Yeah.
Like, just through the transparency of it all.
Kind of like Square Enix.
Yeah, exactly. Like, where it's mostly Square, they just have Enix properties.
Can I be honest about something? The last Blizzard game that I played was probably either Diablo 2 or Warcraft 3.
Okay. I play Overwatch and I played Diablo 3. I tried Heroes of Storm and they were like, we're going to make money with this. And then they closed it down within a year, to my knowledge.
I never jumped on the World of Warcraft bandwagon. I actually had a point in time where I personally hated the game, and not
because everyone was playing it.
That was the problem. I want my friends back. I like video games too, but when I'm coming to your house to hang out and there's like all 6 of you sitting at your own computers, nobody's talking to each other aside from chat in the game or through headsets. I'm just sitting on the couch by myself doing nothing while you guys are all playing, and I just couldn't get into it. I liked Warcraft, but when they jumped into the online EverQuest style RPG, I was like, I'm checking out. But for whatever reason, they just they blew it off the map with how popular the game became. And Jerry, were you a World of Warcraft person?
When vanilla first released, I was, and I ended up playing up until level 50. Then all my friends were like, "Hey, let's go to the other side," and I was like, "I'm not leveling all over again. You guys are crazy," and that's when I stopped, honestly.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, no, I couldn't take it anymore, and I was kind of glad when I saw the game kind of die down a little bit. I got some of my friends back.
Yay.
But yeah, no, that was the last Blizzard game I played. I think it was either Diablo 2 or Warcraft 3, and I remember playing Warcraft 3 a lot. I loved Warcraft 3, and I mean when they first announced World of Warcraft, long time ago, I thought I was going to be into it, and then when I just saw what it did to people, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I like Overwatch. It's good. It's fine enough. It was, it was better back in the day. And Diablo 3 had his issues at first, but Diablo 3 now is really good. I look forward to 4. I'm excited about 4.
I made so much money off Diablo 3 when they had that real money auction.
Yeah,
house.
Yep.
That thing that just disgusted me, and I was like, "This is gross."
Well, Ashton, I don't know if you saw it, but Jerry, you posted something awesome the other day on I think it was on Facebook, of a guy who made a Diablo-like game using the was he just using the Unreal Engine, and he did it in a week, right?
Yep.
And it looked
7 days.
It looked amazing. It looked awesome for being done in a week, and it makes you think why does it take so long for some of these games to come out when this dude can do it in a week by himself?
I know, right?
Ashton, you haven't seen it, have you?
No.
Yeah, go to Jerry's Facebook page at some point and watch it. It's this quick little video. The dude sounds like he's Russian. Who made it?
Russian.
But it was awesome. He went from scratch because what is the software that he was using
Blueprint.
That was Blueprint. That's what it was. And what I thought was really cool about it is he challenged himself to build this using no code. There was no code whatsoever. It was
just the tools. Basically.
It was just all the tools that were built into Blueprint, and I'm like, that's kind of awesome. I'm not taking away from people who code. If you code, that's amazing. You basically know another language if you're coding. But the fact that this dude took something that's a relatively new tool and used just the assets in that tool to put together a game. One, I think that it kind of opens it up for more people to be able to make. Are you watching it right now?
He did this in 7 days?
In 7 days, yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. So for anybody who's listening to this, I'm going to post up a link to this video on our Facebook page and actually all of our social media pages, just so you can check it out too. This is super impressive what this guy did. I mean, it legit looks like a real game that Blizzard would put out.
Blizzard, you lazy bastards! What are you doing?
Exactly. But I think it's time for us to take a little trip down memory lane here. I remember one of my first fighting games being Street Fighter. Ashton,
Mm.
what about you?
I think my first one was actually Mortal Kombat.
First Mortal Kombat?
Yes.
Yep.
I think technically that was my first one, but then eventually I did like my first at-home console game was Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo.
I loved Street Fighter Alpha. That was my jam.
Alpha's sick.
Alpha was amazing. Super Nintendo. But Jerry, were you ever a Street Fighter guy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In the arcade all the time. Obviously, how most of us met. I mean, you know, Dance Dance Revolution, but
Yep.
you know, I think we had like what Killer Instinct,
Killer Instinct.
Tekken
Marvel
3.
vs. Capcom 2, Street Fighter vs. X-Men.
Yep.
Like every Capcom fighter that could exist, we had access to it at the mall.
But sad news from the Capcom world, Yoshinori Ono is going to be leaving the company after 30 years with them. He is the original guy behind Street Fighter, and it's
He's a big
Yeah.
part of just keeping fighting games alive at Capcom. It's not just Street Fighter, just being like, hey guys, maybe we should like. He really wanted to do a new Darkstalkers. He was behind a lot of the Marvel vs. Capcom stuff. He tried to make Infinite as good as he could, even being an outside party to it, I think. That man's a legend.
Was Infinite bad? Because I haven't played it yet.
Gameplay-wise, no. It's a perfectly fine fighting game. It's just people didn't like the... My Chun-Li looks ugly. My dolls are ugly. There's no X-Men in this. I can't... Ugh.
I think my only problem was when they moved to Marvel. What was it? Was it 3? Was the one where they first kind of went with like the 3D style ish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They cut back on the characters, and it's like no,
They did, but not in Ultimate because they wanted to sell you the same game again, which is a lesson they're learning now. Probably shouldn't do that.
I mean, didn't they do that with? What was it, Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5? They did the same thing.
All right, so here's the thing. For 4,
Two.
there's Super and then Ultra. And then for 5, there's Super Arcade is now. And there's a new one coming out.
Super Arcade Ultra Alpha Edition.
Yeah, it'll probably be called Champion or something, but it's like the 4th
Turbo.
season of the game or something.
But yeah, so sad news from there, but at the same time, big thanks to a guy who brought some legendary fighting games into our arcades and
He
living
also
rooms.
had involvement in Devil May Cry, too.
Did he?
Yes,
I did
slight
not know that.
influence in there.
I love Devil May Cry, except Devil May Cry 3.
Why 3?
Because
Three is like one of the best ones.
It's so hard.
Well, that's not the game's fault.
It's
It
like-
doesn't make it a
it's
bad
like-
game.
Get good, Corey.
It's like Devil May Cry made by From Software.
Basically, it might as well be.
So anyways here, Ashton, you and I know are very, very excited about this. Rocksteady is coming back.
I'm not that, it's
You're not that excited? I'm excited about it.
I would have been more excited if it was about one of the characters, not the cast of characters. We're talking about Suicide Squad, everybody.
What?
That's right.
But the thing is about it is, I thought you would have been excited because the goal is get Superman. Like,
I don't know. I like Superman. All right, so everyone who doesn't know this, Superman's my number 1 superhero. Literally, best superhero ever. Period. I don't care if you like Batman. Frankly enough, he's a shitty hero. If
Hey.
he was really no,
Hey.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. He has enough money to literally pull everyone out of the gutter in Gotham. What does he use his money on? Space stations. Battle space stations. So no. Don't give me this. At least Superman has an argument like, yeah, I don't want to kill people and I'm only one person.
doesn't Superman have like a giant fortress made out of like crystal and ice? And
What do you want people to live in Antarctica? Because that's where it is.
I'm just saying. Like, I thought you would have been a little bit more excited based on the fact that
I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's a cool premise.
Yeah,
Like,
well, and the fact that
you're this
we
like
got super
anti-hero group going against Superman. Like, that's cool.
Part of me is wondering if they're gonna pull like a thing where you are actually gonna get to play as Superman.
I would love if I want to. I've wanted a good Superman
Well, that's
game
my thing.
entire life.
That's my thing. It's like we haven't had a good Superman game since
Death and Returns on Super NES, and that was a beat 'em up that wasn't even that good.
Do you know I almost said Superman 64?
No. There was one before that.
Come on, you can fly around. No.
You have to fly through rings every other stage. Eventually they move. It's a horrible game. Death and Returns.
For anybody who doesn't know, Rocksteady, who's going to be making the Suicide Squad game, they are most famously known for making the Batman Arkham series. Aside from it was Arkham Origins, they didn't make, right?
Yes, and Blackgate Origins, which is like a
Vita game, right?
mobile-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So I personally love all of them. I mean, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, all amazing games.
The original trilogy, they're amazing games.
Yep. So
Origins, not so much. Check out my gameplay on YouTube.
Shameless plug number 3.
Someone's gotta watch them.
Got a suggestion for you, Corey. You gotta put a counter.
No, we're gonna have to.
You
with
know?
we're gonna have to hotkey it. It's gonna be like a Dark Souls death counter.
Look, I am a salesman. I'm selling you guys, me, and us 3. See that?
You're doing a
That did
great
rhymes.
job. Great
Thank
job.
you. Catch us on Spotify, Apple, Google.
I'm never gonna have to pay for a commercial. Never. Never. This is perfect.
I'm getting better at it every
That's
time.
awesome. No, I remember my first time playing Arkham Asylum and just being like, wow. First off, it was just like the graphics was for me.
Yeah,
it
good.
was they were beautiful, but I love the combat system. I love the chaining together all the enemies around you and everything. But
It was smooth.
yeah, it was super smooth, and it's funny because like they've adopted that type of play into other games now. I mean, like the Spider-Man game on PlayStation. It's an amazing game, but that combat system is definitely almost nearly identical to Arkham.
Arkham City was the first game I played in 3D, where it was like actually built for 3D TVs and stuff.
I remember that.
Experience.
Yeah, I remember that.
Amazing.
I remember that.
I love City. City's easily the best one.
And it was funny because it actually, if you had a 3D TV, like it was like the best visual experience to play it like that. But then if you didn't have a 3D, it came with those little, red and green paper 3D glasses.
Like, here's your weird color. Hope you don't get sick.
You don't need a 3D TV to experience this game in full 3D. No, you do. You really do.
We actually did report on the possibility that this was going to happen a few episodes ago too. And I'm super surprised that it was just confirmed. It was a poster where it's like Superman standing off looking, and then it's got the Suicide logo on his head.
Yeah, which kind of looks like a crosshair.
Bulls. Yeah.
Yep. So I think that's an awesome poster. I honestly,
It is a cool poster.
I honestly think that should just be the cover of the game. Like that. Like you don't need anything else besides that. I am curious, like how many playable characters are going to be in it. Like who are we going to obviously?
You have to figure you're going to get Deadshot. Harley Quinn will probably be there. Useless like she always is. Maybe Killer Croc.
You're such
Killer Croc's cool.
You are a Harley Quinn hater.
Yeah, because she's a shitty character, everybody. I'm sorry. She's good in the modern comic books, but you know what? She's a bad character. She's bad.
Go back to like 1994 and tell that to Batman the Animated Series.
That's where she came from.
Yeah, I know that's where she came from.
And she was fine in that. And there's a lot of sexual innuendos like, Joker, don't you want to ride your Harley? We know what that means. Getting Joker dick. That's what that means. Don't choke.
It's Jerry and his giant flask again.
Might as well.
Yep, there it is. The big flask. But
I mean, it'd be cool to see other heroes in the game too.
yeah.
Like, if Batman would show up and just be like,
Well, that's the
"Oh,
thing.
you
Like,
got this, Superman."
there definitely has to be more than just Superman that they're gonna have to
Yeah.
go through to get there. And it makes me wonder if Batman will be in it too. And it's like, do they
Yeah.
got to get through Batman to get there?
Nightwing and
Yeah,
Robin.
yeah.
And
Aquaman won't be a challenge. You're gonna take him down.
I could see them. I could see them like maybe more of it being about anti-Justice League than just Superman.
Yeah,
Because let's face facts, Superman is like the head of the Justice League.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, but if like Superman is the main target of the game, like, who are gonna be like the little baddies?
Yeah,
that
the
you're-
other bosses.
Exactly.
Spoiler
like,
alert, there's not one boss in any game.
But Jerry, have you played any other Rocksteady games?
Not that I know of. No, actually
No.
not.
No, I mean it's all right. Not everybody has. I mean I feel like it kind of fit a certain niche of people and their gaming tastes, but it's cool. It's good to have Rocksteady back. I know it's been a little bit since Arkham Knight came out, and I know Arkham Knight was like an amazing game, beautiful game, but it definitely had some mixed reception. It didn't.
Too much Batmobile. Way too much. Batmobile's cool. Half that game is Batmobile. So that's where the criticism is.
But something else is coming back, or did come back, I should say. This is Doc Disrespect.
Damn straight he came back. He came back to YouTube.
He
came
did.
back strong.
Yes, he did. For everybody who doesn't know, Dr. Disrespect was probably one of the most famous Twitch streamers out there. He actually really made himself known from his first ban, which is when he was streaming from the bathroom of
Yep.
E3 last year.
Yep.
That got him banned for 2 weeks. The dude is a crazy character. He's one of the most unique streamers that I have ever seen, and probably the main reason why he had the success that he did. Little over a month ago, he was streaming, and then all of a sudden,
I gotta go.
yep, gotta go. Stream ended, and then it
banned.
just
Gone.
banned.
Not, people aren't even allowed to play with him.
Yeah.
That's how banned he is.
Yeah, but the thing is that nobody knows why he was banned. And he's not really. He's saying he doesn't know, but it seems like he's just
leaving it to the legal channels.
Yeah, because I mean, he
There's
definitely.
like a couple million on the table.
Yeah, he definitely is. You think? I mean, he's not. He hasn't come out and said it right away, but he's putting together a team to definitely sue Twitch over this. Part of what was happening around then is right before he was banned, there were other Twitch streamers who were banned due to sexual misconduct allegations, stuff like that. So automatically people assumed that he was tied into that because it was so close to these other streamers being banned.
And his wife made a statement around the same time where she was like, "I will stand by my husband through all of this," and it kind of paints that in more of there was relationship problems that may have been alluded to, and it's just weird. It's
Yep.
just super weird.
It was a couple years ago. I remember Dr. Disrespect left Twitch for a little while. He's like, I need some time, and basically saying that he didn't cheat on his wife and he needed time alone to figure everything out.
Yep. He made his comeback on YouTube.
Big comeback.
Big comeback. Ashton, what were the numbers again?
It was over 500,000 new viewers and subs to his channel or streaming channel.
And that was
whatever you wanna
and
call it.
that was on his first stream, right?
His first stream.
First stream.
Like, hey, I'm on YouTube. Didn't even really make a big fuss about it. YouTube didn't even contact or make him a
No.
contract or anything.
Nope.
They were
Nope.
just like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
He broke YouTube.
Yeah. It was to the point where people were like, I want to sub to this, and they couldn't because YouTube was getting hit so hard and so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And around the same time, Ninja went back to Twitch, and he only got 60,000.
Yeah.
Whatever. So,
Yep.
good for the doc.
I thought that maybe he would have made an appearance on Facebook Gaming, but it does seem like Facebook Gaming doesn't really have too many top tier streamers right now. It already has a huge community, but there's not too many top tier. I mean, you either got people who are, most of them are on Twitch now. I mean, I can't say Twitch has a big competitor right now with Mixer gone. Facebook is trying to become that competitor, and now that Microsoft has kind of partnered with Facebook to make Facebook its primary streaming platform, I don't see it becoming the main competitor to Twitch. I think Twitch is going to kind of hold the high ground for a while.
YouTube would like to think that they are. Nobody likes streaming on YouTube.
No,
YouTube's incredibly broken, apparently.
YouTube is a fantastic library. It's a fantastic place to put content, share your content and everything. But for it to be live, no, especially not if you're a smaller streamer or even a streamer who's kind of like making his way up a little bit. I mean, the only thing you're going to see that'll get a lot of views live are going to be like big events, kind of like the Xbox showcase or the PlayStation thing. Like stuff like that is what people are going to tune to live on YouTube. And I mean, not trying to knock YouTube. YouTube is an awesome platform for being able to share content. But again, it's not going to be something that is going to compete with Twitch. I do know that, and I think you might have already said this, Ashton, that Doc Disrespect doesn't have a deal with anyone. This was just, hey, I got a YouTube channel. Like, I don't got a partnership. I'm not sponsored. Like, this is just me, and boom, like this is what happened. You gotta think that somebody is gonna be reaching out to him, being like, hey, like we want to cut. like you broke our shit. We want to cut.
Yeah. You would assume.
I actually didn't know much about him until maybe a couple months ago. The only thing I did know about him was the incident of him streaming from the bathroom in E3, and then just kind of faded out of my memory and didn't really care. But I also really wasn't that well in tune with the streaming world or knowing what was happening with streaming. I actually used to be one of those people who was like, why on earth did anybody want to sit down and watch people play video games? You could play video games yourself. But now I've kind of opened up to that world now.
Yeah, because we do that.
Yes, we
people
do.
watch us do that.
We do.
I've been watching YouTube gamers though for 10 plus years. It's just sometimes you're like, I want to check this game out, but you don't want to put the money forward or even care enough to play it. So it's just whatever.
I think for me, it's my impression of game streamers and Twitch was oh, you're just going there to watch somebody play games. And it's not that. You're going there to actually be
their
there.
Commentary.
Their commentary, their content. I mean, granted, I'm sure there's a good category of people that are going there just being okay, I'll watch a stream where nobody's talking and they're just playing the game the whole time. But I think people like to be there because it's you kind of feel like you're hanging out with the person. I mean, especially nowadays with, coronavirus going on and everything, that this is the only way we're staying connected. And I think that with how Twitch streamers run their channels, and good Twitch streamers are good at interacting with their chat. They're good at just being quick on the fly with being witty and smart and everything, and coming up with new and unique ideas to keep people engaged. I mean, it goes beyond the gameplay. The gameplay is just there to supplement everything else. And that's where I kind of gained a new respect for streaming, and why I really, really enjoy streaming now. I mean, I love it. I love the Twitch community. I think it's probably one of the most helpful, supportive, biggest communities. Hey, dogs. Come on.
Dogs.
Yeah, my dogs.
Live on chat.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I was someone who was used to think that that's all it was. Why on earth do you want to go watch somebody play a game when you can just play it yourself or whatever? And now that I've gotten into it now, and I've gotten the support, I'm sorry, I go on Facebook and it's depressing to go on Facebook, and I come on Twitch and you go on somebody just random dude's channel and the chat is awesome. It's great. Especially if you're going to not necessarily a big streamer, because then it just your stuff just kind of gets lost.
Slow mode, you can only say something once.
Yeah, and your stuff gets lost in the I think for the big streamers, it's better if you're going in there and you can kind of be able to get a question highlighted by the streamer, and then get an answer that way. But you go into a channel where there's 40, 50 people in that channel, and you got 50 to 60% of them interacting in the chat. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Like, you know, you could just be having a conversation about what the game the guy is playing. I know there is a streamer that I've actually become another fan of, and I think I'm going to start doing this on a weekly thing where I'm finding new streamers that I enjoy and give them a plug on the show. Is this guy Jolo the Bird? He is absolutely hysterical. He's been playing Dark Souls, Fall Guys, and most recently just started The Last of Us Part 2 on its hardest difficulty. But aside from him just playing games, he does small things like when he gets a new follower, he pulls out a book and does dad jokes. And he'll tell a dad joke, and then he's got a laugh track programmed into he's either got it programmed into a Stream Deck or he's got it in a hotkey on his keyboard. But he'll tell a dad joke, drop the laugh track, and then you've got like people talking about that joke for like the next 5 to 6 minutes in there, and it's funny. Like, honestly, the jokes are corny as hell. Like, they're super corny. They're dad jokes, like, you know.
That's what's best about dad jokes. They're just awful.
But he also does Mad Libs on his channel.
I mean, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's like he'll have like a random Mad Libs book, and like the first person to comment with like, you know, what a noun, adjective, or whatever, he'll put it in there, and then he'll read it off. And it's like, you know, you watch his stream for like 2 hours, and he'll only play a game for like maybe 40 minutes of that, but he'll be talking throughout the entire thing. So I'm giving a plug here to Jolo the Bird. Go check him out.
Plug.
Yeah,
Check it
yes. This was not shameless because somebody else's stuff.
Wait, are you saying there's shame in plugging your own product that people enjoy? Like our podcast you can find on Spotify, Apple, and Google. I'm a master at plugs.
You are. Yeah, but I think that was pretty much it with the gaming news. There wasn't much else out. It kind of seems like the Halo news just all of a sudden trumped everything. Ashton, I wasn't sure if there was anything else you wanted to get to.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Give me 1 second. There's something I wanted purposely mentioned.
I just wanted to bring up about streaming.
Yeah, dude. Sure.
When you're watching somebody play a video game, you think it's just that, but when you start watching it, there's a community with it too. And basically, it comes down to a couple points. One, entertainment. You have somebody who's actually entertaining you, creating content, doing things to keep you entertained and involved. Your other person is your pro players. Your pro players you watch because you know they're top tier guys.
Yep.
Like Ninja. That's how Ninja got big.
Yep.
By just being good at Fortnite.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then other than that, under entertainment is like speedrunners. Sometimes there's like a game and somebody's doing a speedrun. It's like, they're doing what and what?
Yeah.
It's just like really intense just watching them.
Like the guy who did a speed run of Dark Souls 3 in 28 minutes.
That's real fast. That's really fast.
I think he skipped like almost 90% of the bosses to do it, but
I mean, that's cool. I wish I could skip bosses in Bloodborne because I'm all over some of them. But I do remember what I wanted to mention because I pre-ordered the game today. Marvel's Avengers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They have really gross costume skins. Really gross. Why are they gross? Hey, do you want your Hulk to be wearing Verizon-based pants? How about Captain America in an Intel suit? Do you like Virgin Mobile? How about more corporate garbage that will be forced down your throat through this game for some reason?
Is this game made by EA?
You would think, wouldn't you? I don't know, like, obviously it's suspected that Crystal Dynamics, the ones who are making the games, are going out there looking for these kind of sponsorships. But the fact that the game's not out yet and we're only in beta and we have Verizon-based costume skins, not like, hey, here's like a comic book related thing or a movie. No, like this is your phone plan. What kind of phone you got? We got pants. You want Iron Man in that Verizon outfit? How about AT&T's back there? No, it's gross. I just want to put that out there, and like they're free now, but I could see these skins being like $5-10 down the road too, for corporate skins. It's just a little gross. I don't know about how you guys feel.
I mean, I'm not against there being like a respectable level of corporate advertising in a video game. I mean, like when I'm playing a game like Need for Speed and you're seeing like billboards.
Like a billboard or
yeah,
something?
like some like I'm cool with that. Or if I'm playing like NHL 20 and they've got like legit ads around the boards like you see when you go to a real hockey game. Like stuff like that I'm okay with. But if it seems like it's out of place and you're just plastering it there so you get eyes on a logo, then I'm like, I mean, to me that's like I mean, I know you guys don't really watch hockey, but over in like the European leagues, over in like Sweden and Russia and everything, on their jerseys, I mean, they look like a freaking NASCAR stock car. They've got just ads like bumper stickers all over the jerseys. You got the logo like right in the middle, and the jersey could be blue, but like 90% of it is like multicolored because they've just got ads all over a thing. And when you do that to a video game, then I'm not happy, and that's going to really take my attention away from what could be a quality game.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember the superhero from Mystery Men? Like the top two, like he had like a Pepsi logo on his thing.
Yes.
He gets killed in the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Or whatever, but he's like, he suits up and he's like, it's just, it looks like it does like one of those NASCAR ads, and you're just like, this is Marvel's Avengers.
Oh, when Ben Stiller was relevant.
He's still relevant. What are you talking about?
I don't know about that.
What's the last movie he did?
Exactly.
Damn it.
Tropic Thunder?
No.
I mean,
Probably Night in the Museum 3 or something.
oh yeah, yep. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. But yeah, so I think that was sorry. I wanted to say with Marvel Avengers, since you brought that up, there have actually been some problems. One, people are not happy with the game in general since they got the beta. People who pre-ordered.
The beta is rough.
Yeah, the beta is really, really rough. And on top of that, some people who pre-ordered the game did not get the beta, and then come to find out they were charged either $90 or $95 for the pre-order.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It was on PlayStation. I don't know if it happened on Xbox or not.
The beta isn't available on the other platforms yet.
Okay.
PlayStation was the first one.
PlayStation the first one. So some people who pre-ordered the game, when they go back and they look at like, the order history or whatever for a pre-order, they see that they were actually charged. It was either $90 or $95.
So like for the ultimate.
If that's what the ultimate version costs, but I mean most ultimate versions are like, $79.99, unless this one is like one of those ones that is close to $100.
I've seen some of them where they're $100,
which doesn't friggin' surprise me. Which just
microtransactions.
Yeah. I was just
video game started with them via arcade quarters, and it will die by them via nickel and diamond people.
I shall die by the token.
Okay.
I hate microtransactions. Like,
yeah, they're bad.
I don't like
They're
them.
bad. I mean, a lot of times, like, they're cosmetic and it shouldn't matter. But sometimes it's like there is a pay-to-win feel to them, and that's gross too.
Yep.
Have you guys ever played Path of Exile?
No.
I have it on my Steam account.
It is a game I actually put towards their Kickstarter a long time ago, like 2009, I think it was. Don't quote me, but their motto is this is free, no microtransactions. The only thing you have to pay extra is if you want a skin, and that's it. And it's grown so much and so many expansions. Have you seen the skill tree for that game?
No.
It put Final Fantasy X skill tree to shame. Looks like kids play.
Like the spear grid.
The sphere grid.
Yeah.
The over 200 slotted spear grid?
Oh, it makes it look like a little teeny kiddie pool.
Why? That's a lot.
That's
a lot. What's the level cap?
99, and I think it goes up from there.
Oh. That's a long game.
It's what Diablo 3 should have been. I'll say it.
Hey, come on, guys.
Listen, if I wanted to play Gauntlet, I'd play Gauntlet, alright?
Ooh, Gauntlet.
You know, my only complaint about Diablo 3 was like, it's too much like WoW. Like, it has a very WoW skill tree based kind of feeling where it's just like, pick what you want, and there's nothing special about you. Get gear, though! Get that gear that gives you +1 in every. It's like, all right, well, I don't like grinding, but
That's all it is. Hey, you want to do top tier? You want to get past this level? You need this gear, this gear, this gear, and this gear, and that gear. If you don't have it, you can't go past that.
yeah, that is one of the faults.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything else as far as gaming news. Ashton, I know you wanted to finish off with the Marvel thing there, so I think it's time for us to dive into our entertainment corner here.
Hey, entertainment.
So, bridging the world of video games and movies, Netflix is going to be dropping a documentary. I think it's later this week. It's coming. I think Friday it actually comes out. It is called High Score. It is going to be basically covering the history of gaming, going all the way back to basically the very first concept of a video game console up to streaming and esports of today. It's supposed to be just under 2 hours long, I believe, and the entire thing is being narrated by Charles Andre Martinet, who is the voice of Mario.
Yahoo!
He's been the voice of Mario since Mario 64.
Yahoo!
I had no idea. Yeah. I had no idea about this. I had been more paying attention to that PlayStation documentary that is going to be coming out that we mentioned on the last episode. Mm-hmm. And while we were watching Netflix, it came up in one of those, like the ads that they show whenever you finish a show or whatever, and it's just kind of rolling through as a screensaver. And I'm like, all right, I gotta see a trailer for this. So I pulled it up on YouTube and watched the trailer. I was like, I'm sold. This looks really freaking cool. And what I like about it is that they are gonna actually cover like what is really happening today with streaming, with esports, because I do feel like there is still a good group of people that kind of look down on people like us. Like, they don't think that esports can be considered a real sport. They don't think that streaming could be a real job. And
that's stupid because all those things have been proven true.
Exactly.
There's a $1 million tournament that happens every year with League of Legends.
Yep.
Every year.
Well, it was funny because I was watching another video from Harris Heller there of Alpha Gaming. Jerry, I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but he's got a YouTube channel. He was a guy who started out on Vine. Him and his girlfriend, now wife, they started making music on Vine, and they blew up on Vine and got so big that they ended up being in like an Old Navy commercial and everything. And then Vine died. And he was like he had to go get a part-time job. Like, they lost basically everything when Vine died. And he started, building kind of like this YouTube channel that he's got built up. And then he moved to Twitch, and he was making music for like his own music to put up on Spotify and stuff like that. And he even said in one of his videos there that he just released lately, where it was basically like the title of the video was like, Twitch is your hobby, not your future. But it was basically taking from a Reddit post that somebody put up saying that, like, that's what it is. Twitch is a hobby, not your future. And the guy listed off a bunch of different things. And then Harris went over and looked him over and was like, all right, well, I can agree with some of these things, but it's like, it's more than about just being a Twitch streamer. And for him, like, I mean, he's got music that he makes. He's got a YouTube channel, and he's got the Twitch channel. And he was telling a story about how, like, he was telling his mom that he was going to start streaming on Twitch and making money playing video games on Twitch. And basically his mom told him that, like, no, like, that's ridiculous. Like, you're not going to make any money playing video games. Like, what? Like, no, go back to making music full time and stuff. So, I mean, and now look at him now. Like, I mean, he gets like he just did a 24-hour stream on this past Saturday, and he had, at any given time, 900 to like 1.5K viewers in there. And
a lot of people.
I mean, and then he's very, very open about like what he makes as a Twitch streamer, and he makes like anywhere from like $10,000 to like $15,000 a month as a Twitch streamer. And he streamed
1,000 of those people subbed. That's That's $5,000 right there.
Yeah. So, and I mean, like, he does awesome things too. Like when he runs the 24-hour streams, that every time he would reach, I think it was like 200 subs that he would reach, he would drop a 50 sub bomb on a random streamer. Like he just like, all right, every time we hit 200, we're going to go find another random streamer and then drop a 50 bomb on them. And it's like, and that's another thing that plays into like why I really, really love the Twitch community, because there's so many support. Even the big streamers are really supportive. Like, I mean, you know, between people who raid, people who subscribe, donate, everything, like that's why I really like that community. But even him himself, who was already successful with what he was doing on YouTube, like, I mean, like, I'm sorry, like most parents be like, okay, I'm going to support whatever you do. But the minute he mentioned to his mom that he's going to start streaming, like it's just like, no, you're not going to make any money doing that.
If you call it anything else, like a game commenter, just like how there's sports commentary.
Yeah.
Like, it's just how you phrase it or how you look at it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I know, like, the older generations look down on video games, but let's face facts. Millennials and everyone who's, like, a major adult that's, like, running the world now plays video games, have played video games. We grew up with video games.
Yep.
Like, that stigma is pretty much going to die.
Which was like, you know, and I'm happy about that, because I mean that was one of the like part of the reason behind us starting this show was to kind of like, all right, you know, all of us are in our 30s and we still absolutely love video games. We love the science behind them. We love playing them. We love
video game tattoo.
Yeah,
it's a video game tattoo.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, between just the love of building systems to play games, the love of when a new console releases, and that fresh smell when you open a box.
Bro. The smell of consoles when you open that box, you're like, woo!
Plastic.
Yes.
I buy a new controller, I sniff that boy. I'm just controller. I can smell the Japanese factory right now.
But yeah, it's like, you know, there's a lot more, and I'm even discovering this through the Twitch community that like there's a ton of streamers who are older, like a ton. I mean, I mean, Ashton, you and I have gotten closer to Messiah now, and I found out he's 43 or 42. Sorry, he's 42.
I know there's a streamer called, I want to say his name's John something. He's like widowed, probably like in his 70s. He plays RuneScape all the time. Loves it.
Yep.
Love it. Sweet man, too.
There's this other guy who streams on there, and I think his name is like Arco or something like that, but he definitely looks like he's in his like late 30s, early 40s, and like dresses up in like a full cowboy getup, and he just sits in his living room with like, and it looks like he's in like a log cabin, and he's got this big like, you know, antler mug, and he's playing NES games. He's streaming NES games the entire time.
Well, then there was like people like Skyrim Grandma Skyrim, who's just plays Skyrim on stream, just like, hey, what's up?
Yep. But yeah, so I don't know, kind of going off track here, but yeah, definitely that Netflix documentary looks cool. Another thing that Netflix has got coming out later, and again, had no idea what it was, is this new movie called Project Power.
I am so excited about this.
Like, it sounds really friggin' cool.
The trailer's cool.
It's got both Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it. Basically, the premise is the former soldier turned cop is investigating this dangerous pill that grants people superpowers.
For 5 minutes.
Like, that's like, I'm sold. Like, I'm already sold.
Everyone
like,
has a, like, I think one of the tags in the trailer is like, you don't know what power you have until you use it.
Yep.
And sometimes the powers you get are dangerous.
Yep.
Like, there's in the trailer, some girl gets like ice powers, but like she freezes over and dies because like her body just runs rampant with it. And it's like, that's cool.
When I first saw the poster for the movie, I was like, are they just going to rip off Limitless? Like, that's what I thought it was going to be.
Never seen it.
Oh, you never saw Limitless?
Nah.
It's actually a really good movie. It was actually really good.
They turned that into a show.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
I did not know that. Intriguing.
I don't think it's around anymore. I think it was a Fox show. So, spoiler alert, it was canceled.
Damn you, Fox. Bring back Terra Nova. Bring it back. I want to see people riding dinosaurs again.
Yeah. Again, that one of those shows where you're like, I'm on episode 3, and I'm like, yeah, this is getting canceled. I like this show, but damn.
It's actually good, but it's getting canceled.
Dang.
Hey, Fox. I mean, you did it with The Simpsons. Yay.
Only because they wanted, like, some awards, like longest running show and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've been pretty clear about why Simpsons is still around.
Yep. But other than that, I know Jerry and I were talking earlier, and Jerry's kind of in the same boat that I am, where like kids, stuff like that, don't get a lot of time to watch stuff. But one thing that we brought up that we could probably talk about here was Game of Thrones. I know all three of us have seen it. Jerry, have you completed? Have you watched the whole thing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh, so I could just say this? Man, what a waste of time that show is. Oh my God, season 8. Sweet mammy jammy.
Man, how are we gonna fit this all in? Boom, here it is, all of it done.
You just crumpled it up and put it in a little box. Appreciate what we're doing for you.
What was it? It was it Benioff and Weiss? Those are the two writers. Is that who it was?
Oh, it's D&D. David something and
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
I think it's Benioff and Weiss is their last names, isn't it?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, personally, like, obviously, I didn't like the ending. I was not a fan of it at all. I loved everything. Honestly, I loved everything through season 6. Once after season 6 ended, it was
there's good stuff in 7. Like there's good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
There was obviously a lot of stuff where they were like, we're just taking the reins and filling in the gaps.
Battle of the Bastards was amazing. But with that last season with both of them, like the news had broken like shortly before they were developing the final season that both of those guys were going to be making a Star Wars movie. Mm-hmm. And part of me thinks that they were just like, fuck this Game of Thrones shit. We're gonna make that Star Wars money.
They wanted to just get done with what they. Because here's the thing, HBO offered them, hey man, however many seasons you can do it. They were like, please, we can make this 12 seasons.
Yep.
And the only reason we got season 8, because originally they wanted to end it after season 7, was that HBO was just like, please just extend it. That's why they have shorter episodes, or not as many episodes as the seasons prior. And it's just like, you bastards. I hate you.
Yeah, I mean, I was really disappointed, and it's funny because they've actually started, like, some of the cast have been like coming out now and talking more about like the show and what do they feel like it ended the way it should have. Some of them have been, on the fence about it. Other of them, like the guy who played Jaime Lannister, they just like they talked to him and they're like, hey, like, would you ever go back if they were to do the show again or continue it on or anything? Obviously, we know his spoiler alert, Jaime Lannister dies, but he basically said, nope. that story got told. Is done.
I know the guy Kit Harington, the guy who played Jon Snow. He was the first. Even when it was coming out, he was like, "Man, this is some garbage." Like he was just so blunt about everything from the get-go. I appreciate that man so much. He was just like, "Nah, it's a waste of time." Like, how do you feel about the last season? I'd much rather not. And it's just like you could tell that he just doesn't care, and he's just like, whatever, because they didn't care. What was his lines in season 8, everybody? What was, she's me queen! I don't want it! He said those lines so often in season 8. Like, that's like 70% of his script was those, she's me queen. You want the throne? I don't want it! Just angry all the time. Just, I feel so bad for that character because, like, he's just so, like, the part where he's just yelling at the dragon, right? And he's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. You're just like, I feel this in my heart right now. You're just, you should be the hero, but you're not.
Nope.
She's your queen.
Yep.
You don't want it.
Oh my god. So, while we're on that subject, we both know that they are going to be releasing another Game of Thrones series down the road. It's going to be a prequel taking place on...
About egg.
Yeah, yes.
John's dead. Technically, I think.
Do you think that they are going to like suffer from how the show ended? And
Oh yeah.
And do you think that like we should just like leave Game of Thrones where it is? Just leave it alone. Just let it have its space. Let people remember the good things and try their best to forget the bad. Because me personally, it's like had it ended on a better note, I would have been like, okay. But to me at this point is like now you're just trying to still milk as much as you can out of the name. Mm-hmm. And you know, I mean, they could knock it out of the park with another series. I mean, you know, we could it's kind of like The Walking Dead. You know, The Walking Dead came out.
And how it should have been over after like season 3.
Aside from that,
season 2. I'm giving it benefit of doubt. I'm giving it benefit of doubt. I watched until Terminus and I was like, all right, look at the flowers. I'm done. Peace.
No.
I get to pet the rabbits.
Yeah. I was like, this is Mice and Men. We're done.
With The Walking Dead, of course, they spawned off Fear the Walking Dead, and now there's Walking Dead World Beyond.
The movie's coming.
What's that?
The movies.
Oh, and the movies.
3 movies.
Yeah, the 3 movies, which, you know, Rick is coming back. We already know that. But with Fear the Walking Dead actually wasn't bad. Like, I mean, the first season was kind of but once they started getting into it a little bit more, because it actually did start to differentiate itself from the original Walking Dead. I don't know about World Beyond. The trailer for World Beyond makes it kind of look kind of cartoony a little bit. But with Game of Thrones here, there is a chance that could happen with this new series where it's like, okay, there could be some quality behind it. But I feel like, you know, because of the way that it ended, that now it's just like, all right, HBO's got to be like, all right, as long as we've got this property, we just got to milk as much out of it as we can.
They do have books to go off of. And, like, there's a whole bunch of world lore books that they can use. All the prequel stuff that they can use. It's just, for me personally, I know I know the future point. Mm-hmm. And I know that I hate the future point. So, like, anything they do, even if there's, like, characters that we would know from the original show, just a little bit younger or whatever, it's hard for me to care because I know their fates, and I know that at some point the original show didn't care about their fates either.
Yep.
It's just... Yep.
Jerry, what was I was gonna say, what's your take?
Okay. There's just so much going on with that entire series. There's so many political things, family ties, revenge, you name it. There's so much going on. I'll give it a shot. I'm still got that bitter taste in my mouth from that last season, but I want to see it and how it goes. And not to diverse a little off topic, but I mean, we're talking about a TV series that just goes so far, and just only so far I can get it. For me, Breaking Bad was like the perfect amount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It Never watched it.
Ooh.
I know.
Jerry's giving you a look.
I saw ATM fall on somebody's head, and I was like, all right, I'll check this out eventually.
Jerry, did you watch El Camino?
I did not, actually. I haven't got a chance to.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's the sequel movie
yes,
thing
it's basically what happened. It's a movie, basically what happened to Jesse, like, right after the Breaking Bad ended. So, but no, I mean, that's like a perfect show for you to bring up. Like, Breaking Bad was absolutely fantastic. They ended it when it needed to end. I mean, there's so many good shows that, like, man, this is great. It's like it's like a roller coaster ride, and then they just keep it going a little too far, and then
Dexter.
I was just about to say Dexter. It's like we're on this fun roller coaster ride, and it's like, wait, like, I thought we were supposed to stop after the second time through. It's like, no, we're going around the third time, but guess what? Before you get to the end, we're gonna remove the tracks.
like no, we talk about Lost. Just
never watched it.
Just Ashton.
Don't bother.
Don't worry. I know. Purgatory. That's it. That's all you really need to know about Lost.
Maybe.
Spoilers.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah.
I just want to know what happened to the polar bear. The polar bear from season 1. There it is. Did they ever like actually explain like the black smog?
Yeah, that was the. Isn't it like their minds doing it? It's
Wasn't like everything supposed to be their minds or something?
Once again, purgatory. So it's kind of like.
Believe it or not, the Lost video game that came out for Xbox 360 was actually a good game. It was actually good, and it was really, really easy to get like all the achievement points. but yeah, aside from that, Ashton and I both watched this movie on Netflix called Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile.
Boy, this movie.
Basically, it is I guess you could say is true story. I mean, I don't know how.
It's all the trial stuff.
Yeah,
It has to be accurate.
Well, that's the thing, because they show you at the end of the movie like the exact like camera footage footage and quotes from the real trial. But basically, Zac Efron plays Ted Bundy. And
he's a really good actor.
Yes, he is.
Surprisingly.
Yes.
Like, he's a creep. He's charming. He's likable.
And you and I discussed this earlier. It's like this movie like makes you like sympathize with
It's
Ted Bundy,
sad.
which is horrible.
I was sad at the end because he's like crying and you're like, did he murder all those people? Yes, he murdered all those people. But like, you don't really get that feeling until the very end of the movie. Mm-hmm. Where it's like he kind of like the realization is there, but like there's the quote the judge talking to Ted Bundy about where the title of the movie comes from.
Yes,
and like it's just really sad because like he is charming, he is smart.
And that's the thing about the movie that I actually like was really surprised by, and I really, really liked it because, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, he's playing Ted Bundy, and we're gonna get all these scenes where he's murdering women, and there's not a single there's no murder.
Not one.
There is not a single killing in the movie.
There's one.
Oh, there is one. You're right. There is one. But like the more of the whole movie is like just based on him and the person that he was being outside of being a serial killer.
His potential fiance, which is also all accurate.
Yep.
And it's really about like the trials and like how he escaped a few times, which is all also true.
Yep.
And honestly, it kind of reminds me of the Joker because you're rooting for him. Kinda?
Yeah.
And you're just like. But, like, since it's a real person and there's real, like, historic facts about this dude and, like, all the confessions he did about every horrible thing he did, you're just like, I shouldn't like this guy. But, like, Zach knocks it out of the park and you're just like,
I think them casting him was perfect. I mean, just like, because that was what the whole guy kind of like ran off of. Like, women loved him. I mean, like what they showed in the movie was just like, it was like, you know, chicks who showed up to Beatles concerts and they're all standing outside the courthouse with their signs like, Ted, I love you. Like, and it's like,
I just love him.
He just murdered like 16 women.
All right, I'm gonna disclose this real quick. There's a term called yandere, right? Mm-hmm. So that's basically crazy girls that obsess about one person and murder everyone around them. I didn't really get the thrill, but there was a woman who murdered somebody, like this, like boyfriend of hers, like a year ago, 2 years ago. She's the most beautiful girl. She's so cute. There's like a picture of her smiling in the police truck, and you're like, oh, she's hot. Woo! And she's just like covered in blood, and I'm like, I get it. I get it now. I get why women are marrying like prison inmates on death row because they're hot. I'm sorry, everybody.
But no, I mean the movie itself, like I said, it surprised me because I thought we were gonna get scenes of Zac Efron like killing people, and no, like you got more scenes of him studying to be a lawyer than you did of him actually like going out and murdering women, because you didn't get any scenes of him murdering women. Like, that was the part that kind of like really like hit me at the end of the movie, where I'm like, wow, like I actually feel for Ted Bundy, because John Malkovich plays the judge.
Yes.
And
yes.
basically, like, that's where the title of the movie came from. You know, once he was convicted by the jury and, you know,
sentenced to death row.
Sentenced to death row. I mean, John Malkovich came out and said that that what he did was extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile, but Ted Bundy was smart. Like, super smart. I mean, he basically fired his lawyer in the middle of the trial, like,
for incompetence.
Yeah, for incompetence, and then defended himself for the
even tricked the judge into marrying him in court.
in court. Yeah, like yes.
And
what's the name of this again?
It is Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original.
You need to check that out,
dude. It's a really good movie.
There's a part where it's like the judge is even being like, "You're so talented, you're smart, you're bright, and all this."
Yeah,
other
yeah,
stuff.
and that was
like,
it. It was right after he said the title of the movie. He said that, like, you know, like, hey, you know, you're a super bright kid, and he said it would have been an honor for him to actually, you know, practice in the same courtroom.
Yeah,
with
like
him.
he would have loved to see him in front of him as a lawyer. And
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And like he's talking about like how it's a sad loss of humanity that if Ted Bundy went the other way with it, he could have just been this amazing lawyer, changed the world kind of thing. And he changed the world just by, you know, being a murderer.
Yeah, yep. And it's like, and I didn't realize that, like, that there still could be more women that he killed that are unaccounted for.
I mean, it's suspected that he killed upwards of 50, 60 to 70
Yep.
people. Yep. A nice portrayal, too, was his fiancée. Like, half the movie is, like, just her dealing with, like, she's basically Ted's obsession.
Yes.
And it's just, like, her just, like, dealing with the realization that the person she loves the most is, like, this monster.
Yep.
But like you genuinely feel like he cares about her.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
No,
but
no. Like, we could give away the whole movie, but yeah, exactly.
Good.
No, it's definitely highly recommend it. Other than that, the only other thing that I've been watching right now is I finally wrapped up the 3rd season and started the 4th season of The Man in the High Castle. I'm actually kind of upset that I'm in the 4th season now, because I'm loving the show. I'm still loving the fact of, like, I originally thought that it was just going to be this crazy take on, like, oh, what if the Nazis won World War II, and, you know, go from there, and then come to find out, like, no, we're dealing with freaking time travel and parallel dimensions and everything. Like what?
All good things, though.
Yep. And season, like, this new season here, like, now they ended season 3 with basically, like, they now have the portal constructed. It kind of reminds me, Ashton, of the Full Metal Alchemist movie there. The Conqueror of Shambhala. Like, that's that's what it reminds me of. But I'm
such a weird movie. And why do you end your series with, like, the Holocaust? Basically, just gonna throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
No, but that's what it reminded me of. And Jerry, have you seen it at all?
No, actually, I haven't. The only Full Metal Alchemist I've actually watched was Brotherhood, and unfortunately, I somehow just ended up stop watching it halfway.
Yeah.
Nothing to fault to Full Alchemist. Brotherhood, I just.
It's the superior Full Metal. But
See,
have you checked out Man in the High Tower?
High Castle.
I have not.
High Castle. Okay.
Yeah, High Castle. Man. So the funny thing is like the actual The Man in the High Castle, like the guy who's known as the Man in the High Castle in the series, is played by oh God, why can't I remember his name? You guys have seen Office Space, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You took my stibbler. Like,
yeah,
that's the Man in the High Castle. Like,
yes. Yes.
That's cool. He's a really good actor.
But there's been, like, kind of a shift in the series, because, like, you know, the whole setup for the show is, you know, Nazis won World War II. They've taken over basically all of America. All of America is now called the Greater Nazi Reich, but they gave Japan the Pacific states. They have basically Washington, Oregon, California, all basically states that run down the West Coast. They gave to Japan. And in the middle, like the Midwest, Colorado, Denver area, Montana, like there's a middle strip down there that's like called the neutral zone, which is where like basically what's left of Americans who don't want to submit to either Nazi rule or Japanese rule, that's where they are. But the thing is like nobody's safe there. Like you can still be picked up by either side. The Nazis were still going through, and they were hiring hitmen to go into the neutral zone and execute Jews. But now the series, it's now like the Nazis are basically like, hey, like we don't need Japan around anymore. Like we're taking over everything, which is why they're trying to go to alternate worlds and conquer alternate worlds. And it's cool because like now like there's kind of a shift, and you're seeing that like now what's left of the Americans are now teaming up with the Japanese to take down the Nazis. So I don't want to talk too much about it. It's a really, really, really good show. I could sit here and like describe the entire plot from beginning to end because my eyes are glued to it. I'm a big history fanatic. I especially love the World War II era, and to see a take on it like this, which I originally thought, like I said, was just going to be like, okay, what if the scenario was flipped? You know, I mean, like what they're doing with like Marvel and Star Wars and the what if stories, but they just put a whole different twist on it with this. Hey, like, nope, we're bringing in parallel dimensions and time travel. And like, Jerry, the premise of the show is that they exist in this world where the Nazis have won World War II, but there are these films that are showing up that are like all the reels from when we did actually, when the U.S. won World War II. So like all these, you know, all these videos of like Roosevelt, the people celebrating in the streets and everything, they made their way into this world, and that's who the man in the high castle is. He has this whole collection of all these films that basically show like, hey, like there's another place where we're not living a shitty life. And now my curiosity is like, where are they taking this? Because obviously they're trying to now invade that world where, you know, the U.S. the Allies have won more or less, and take that over. But there's like with this parallel dimension stuff, there's also, you know, parallel characters. So like the main character has another version of herself in this other world, and like I said, I could talk about it all day. Definitely check it out. Anybody who's listening right now, go check it out. It's an awesome show.
Amazon Prime.
Yes, it's an Amazon Prime show.
Prime Video.
Yep.
And speaking of Prime, did you know they changed Twitch Prime to Prime Gaming?
No. I know I finally
they rebranded it.
I know I finally linked it up to our Twitch account.
I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
Ashton, you have been watching a few things. I know you said you've
not as much.
I know you've slowed down on the content consumption as far as watching TV and movies has gone.
It's like I need to not watch. Here's the thing: when I watch TV or anything, I watch it out in the living room. The chair in there destroys my back, like destroys it. I like the sciatic nerve just hurts for forever. So like I want to limit my time out there, but. I did watch second season of the New Legends of Monkey. It's on Netflix. I have confirmed that is in fact a child's show. It's very much like Power Rangers, like our old Power Rangers when it came over. It has that feel of just like this group of teenage actors. And, like, it's all right. It's still good. It's enjoyable. But, like, they do this thing at the end of the story where the main hero does big sacrifice heroic thing. And, like, he's trying to save the world. And then you got love interest girl over here being a selfish see you next Tuesday. Just being like, no, you can't leave. Well, I want you here. Screw the world. And it's just like, it's an annoying trait. Like, why are women written like this in, like, any media at all? It's just, I hate it. so selfish. I hate this character so much now. It's just like, she was pretty bad last season where it's like, I went over like, I'm gonna get strong and no one will save me. Get saved 5 minutes later. It's kind of like that. I hate it, but it's good. I look forward to the next season.
So what you're saying is it's a female version of Yamcha.
Yeah. It literally is. It didn't age well in a lot of ways, but it's still,
I remember when The Critic first came out, I was actually a big fan of it. And I remember like people hated it when it first came out. Like,
I don't see how. I loved it when I was a kid.
Yeah, like I was a huge fan. Unfortunately, like I'm not the biggest John Lovitz fan anymore. I don't like him as a person, and I don't like him as a businessman.
Why don't you like him as a person or a businessman?
Not everybody here knows, but I mean, Ashton, and maybe Jerry, but I'm a massive Kevin Smith fan, big time. Like going all the way back to Clerks, and now up to his podcast network and the movies and everything that he's doing now. Love the guy. He's absolutely amazing. When he first started bringing some of his shows live, doing his podcast live in front of other people, he did it in what was called the John Lovitz Podcast Theater. And John Lovitz owned the theater, and like they would do their show Hollywood Babylon, Smodcast. Like Kevin Smith used to have his own place called the Smodcastle, and it was just this small little, like, I think he said it was like a 50 or 60 seat theater, like tiny place. And then they would do like a show every now and again at John Lovitz's theater, and it would be big. Like, I mean, they'd sell it out all the time. It'd be huge. They'd bring John Lovitz on for a couple different episodes. And like at first I was like, oh, this is cool. Like Lovitz is cool and stuff. And then he ended up really screwing them over big time. And then bashed the hell out of them. Like he ended up shutting them out of the theater like the day before they were supposed to perform a show there. He wanted like 70% of the cut from the show because because they were performing at their theater. And then he just went on Twitter and just like bashed Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman. It just like his character just as a person. Like I know John Lovitz from Saturday Night Live, from The Critic, like, and all the movies he's been in. And like when you start to like peel that stuff back and you see like the real person behind it, it's like, like there's a lot of
like the one dude from Ghostbusters, Arnold. He was in Coneheads. I forget his name.
Oh, Dan Aykroyd.
Is it Dan Aykroyd? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
How he's an insane occult person.
Yeah.
Like, insane believes in the occult. Like, wow. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep.
Like little reveals.
But there was stuff that like Lovitz did too, like that show that he ended up cutting like Kevin Smith and Ralph out from doing. Everybody who bought tickets didn't get a refund.
That's trash.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So I'm not the biggest John Lovitz fan. That's probably just because of my Kevin Smith bias, but I'm not going to take anything away from The Critic. I really like The Critic as a show. So
it was Family Guy before Family Guy.
It was.
A lot of referential humor and stuff. Like, it's real well written too.
The only thing, and I think they stopped doing it like in the second season, wasn't the first season like the kind of like jagged animation?
No.
It wasn't?
I mean, it's not as good as the second season, but no.
Okay.
I think your home movies did that.
Yeah, and that's
talking about Squiggle Vision.
Yeah, Squiggle. That,
Yeah.
and I thought the first season of The Critic was like that. I guess I'm wrong. So, but yeah, man, I got nothing else. I'm hoping here this week to be able to watch both the Netflix documentary and about the High Scores, what that one's called, the video game one, and I think Project Power is out the 20th. The 19th or the 20th, it's out on Netflix. So those both look really good. Can't really say too much else is really jumping out to me. I know as far as anime goes, I'm kind of excited. I mean, I know Ashton, you don't care or not, but
well, it's not. It's cool that it exists. All right, don't get me wrong. I'm just not going to watch it. That's all I'm saying.
Jerry, I'm not sure if you know or not, but we're going to be getting a sequel to Inuyasha. There's going to be a new Inuyasha series coming out called Yashahime. And Ashton, you said it like the main character is like
it's Inuyasha's brother.
Yeah.
Shishomaru.
Yep.
Or, I don't know if that's
Sesshomaru.
He has two twin children, and one of them is the main character.
Usually need 2 to make twins.
Yes. And then it'll also feature Kagome's kid as well. And like a lot of the older cast will still be there and stuff. I know I've seen the guy with the hand that could solve all the problems in the world, but magically there's bugs that poison him all the time. Here's why I don't like it. It just got tiring and old. Like, Kagome and Inuyasha, will they get together? Oh my god, this character that could just kill everybody. He can't do anything, so he's useless and like, I don't know.
I just like Catman with big sword kills demons. Like that's.
I mean, like I said, it was, I liked that first, but hey, what can you do about it?
Well, I think we can start to wrap it up here. But before we go, Ashton, it's your week.
Guys.
2 truths and a lie. What you got for us?
I wrote this down, so give me 1 second to pull it up.
We should have made Jerry do one.
We should have.
Listen, this should have been planned ahead, just like everything else, all right?
Yeah.
Hey, we sometimes do things on the fly. Improv. We're so good at it.
My firsts of anything. So, one of the first comic books I ever owned was the first issue of X-Men.
The Uncanny X-Men?
It was the second volume, so like when Wolverine and stuff were already there. My first anime was Gigantor, or Taijinzu 28. Sorry. And
You got the Asian giving you funny looks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is he giving me funny looks or he's sleeping? I can't tell.
What notes did I? Okay, and then the last one, my first RPG was Final Fantasy. And that's it. What was my first, everybody? It wasn't you.
I remember my first beer. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Do you remember? Do you remember? But no, that's it. Which one was my first? Final Fantasy, X-Man, or Gigantor?
Well, I guess we're gonna.
Which one's a lie?
I guess we're gonna have to find out. We'll have to find out next week when we come back for episode
I'm old,
number 8.
remember.
But Jerry gave me a fantastic idea with these 2 truths and a lie, is that we should post them as polls on our social media pages.
Oh, see, look at you.
So our listeners and viewers can interact with it a little bit more. And then that way it'll be a little bit more fun when we actually reveal it on the next episode.
Remember, you can check out our podcast on Spotify, Apple, or Google. We're on Twitch. We have a YouTube channel. We're on Facebook. We do it all, everybody. And I'm also old. So when I say Gigantor, I don't mean in color. I mean like black and white.
Gigantor!
Yeah. Gigantor at the space stage robot. That's how old. You don't even know internet. You don't know.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, we had anime that talked like this, and it was very jumpy. All of a sudden, there's just things flying around everywhere. Just flying.
I don't even think I need to close. Like you got this. But before we go, I want to thank Jerry for coming on.
Yeah.
It was fun having.
Hold on. Though.
What?
Jerry, did you watch anything recently that you wanted to talk about?
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said him and I kind of went over the earlier before we recorded there, because he brought up the whole Game of Thrones thing, and I was like, well, we can talk Game of Thrones, especially since they are going to start development of the new series. So, but yeah, no, I want to thank Jerry for coming on. It was fun. We'll have to do it again sometime. It's fun having another person on here. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
kind of open
I
up the
definitely
discussion.
appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be here, and I haven't. It's been a very long time since I've talked to you, Corey.
Yeah,
so
dude.
definitely have to keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, this was awesome, and I hopefully
If
will be.
people like you, you will invite you over for more.
Yeah.
Let's hope. My cat feels very sweaty.
But yeah, I think that will do it for episode number 7 this week.
That's
And definitely, if you're watching us on Twitch right now, you'll be able to catch the audio only version on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google. Ashton, that was your. That was.
No, you can do it.
Jump in!
No, I did my plugs. It's time someone else be shameless.
And if
Because, you can find our podcast on Google, Spotify, and Apple.
and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Wherever.
But anybody who is listening, hey, you want to see us live? Come check out our Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv /MLG podcast.
We're on there quite a bit.
Yeah. Yes.
We probably produce roughly 30 hours of content a week on Twitch.
Yeah. Ashton streams Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and I pretty much stream whenever I want in between. I'm trying to still get a better schedule hammered out for that. But until then, come hang out with us. Come chat. But for now, until next time, pew, 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 pew.